This isn't revision, it's restoration. This is blackwashed history. We carry the names, the songs, the truths they tried to erase, telling it like it really was, and still is. Where echoes of the past rise up with power, and every story we uncover is a step towards justice. So lean in, let the ancestors speak, and let the truth be heard. Only here on Blackwashed History.
Shots rang out in the room, and there he lay. Malcolm X, Black America's most feared, most beloved, and most misunderstood voice, was silent. But while his body fell, his words never did. And decades later, one question still echoes louder than the bullets. Who really killed Malcolm X? Was it just the men who pulled the trigger, or the systems that made his truth too dangerous to live? Today, we're not just remembering Malcolm on his birthday. On today's episode of Blackwashed History, I want to talk about the lessons he left behind. Lessons about power, lessons about truth, lessons about becoming unshakable in a world designed to break you and I. Malcolm once said, if you're not ready to die for it, put the word freedom out of your vocabulary. He lived, he died by that standard. But beyond the tragedy lies something much deeper, a roadmap for how to live with purpose, clarity, and fire. So now, let's turn our attention from the tragedy to the teaching. Here are 10 lessons from Malcolm X that still demand our attention, because his fight isn't over, even decades later, and neither is ours. Lesson number 1, identity is power. Malcolm asked the question we are still reckoning with today. Who taught you to hate yourself? He reminded us that reclaiming our name, our image, our history is not just empowerment, it's resistance. It's resistance to push back and to challenge societal norms trying to fit us in a box or make us conform to how they think we should live, how they think our image should be, how they think our identity should be. Lesson number 2, education is liberation. Locked in a prison cell, Malcolm copied the dictionary word for word. History, philosophy, religion. He devoured knowledge like it was oxygen. He knew they can cage the body, but they can't cage the mind. So for the generations I see today, it's very clear that we can do TikToks and shorts. We know the latest trend, the latest catchy bop song. But when it comes to knowing our history, we cannot even name historical events other than slavery. And for us to truly be liberated, we have to educate ourselves. We have to read. So I challenge you to go beyond entertainment and really get into the knowledge and the body of knowledge of history. Lesson number 3, your past doesn't define you. Before the world knew him as Malcolm X, he was Detroit Red, a hustler, a gambler, and a thief. But your mistakes don't have to be your legacy. Growth is revolutionary. Lesson number 4, speak the truth, even if it costs you. Malcolm made people uncomfortable, but it was intentional. It was on purpose. He spoke what others were too afraid to say about America, about race, and about religion. For him, I don't believe it was about chasing popularity, although he had a huge following. I believe he was truly chasing truth. Lesson number 5, think globally, act locally. After Malcolm's travels to Mecca, He realized that Black liberation was bigger than the United States. He really connected our struggle to anti-colonial movements around the world. Racism wasn't just, and it is not just an American sickness. It's global. It's all over the world. But guess what else is global? So is our power. Lesson number 6, discipline is a weapon. Yes, when you listen to Malcolm X's speeches, you see the fire, but behind the words was a razor-sharp strategy. Malcolm was always prepared. He was always focused. He was always aligned with his purpose. Remember this one thing: passion sparks the flame. Discipline builds the fire. Lesson number 7, integrity over popularity. When Malcolm saw that the Nation of Islam and how certain behaviors by certain individuals was being carried out, he kind of saw it as counterproductive to the message that was being portrayed by the Nation of Islam. And so we know that Malcolm eventually split from the Nation of Islam. And he knew it may cost him everything. But if your movement has no room for truth, it really has no future. We have to stand on business, and that business is integrity. If you stand for nothing, you'll fall for anything. Lesson number 8, growth is not betrayal. Many feared Malcolm change. Well, he did. And really, that is the point. He evolved from separatism to solidarity, from nationalism to humanism, because that's what life is all about. We are allowed to grow, and we are supposed to grow. And growth doesn't always come from a place of comfort. And we have to ask ourselves, although growth is uncomfortable, what will it cost us to stay the same? Lesson number 9, self-determination is survival. Malcolm didn't just want civil rights. He wanted control over Black schools, Black neighborhoods, Black futures, not just a seat at the table, ownership of the land it sits on. Lesson number 10, your voice is your weapon. He never raised a gun, but the system feared his voice, feared that what might happen if Black folks listened, learned, and led. And maybe that's the most powerful lesson of all. Our words carry weight. Our truth is a threat. Our voice can change the course of history. Think on these lessons. Which one of these lessons resonates with you the most? As we wrap up here today, I want to conclude by saying another famous quote by Malcolm X. The future belongs to those who prepare for it today. So my question for you is, what are you preparing for? If we're building a future of justice, clarity, and liberation, Malcolm has left us a map. And many of our leaders, it's not a perfect one, but it's a bold one. And it's still guiding those willing to walk the path. Are you willing to walk the path? This has been Blackwash History. If this episode stirred something in you, share it, reflect on it, speak on it, because remembering Malcolm isn't enough. We must embody the lessons and the principles he left us. Until next time, stay washed in truth.
Another chapter unveiled. This is Blackwashed History, not just stories of the past, but mirrors for the now. If this moved you, share it with someone who needs to learn and remember their history. Until next time, stay bold, stay rooted, and never stop listening for the voices beneath the silence.